Hello and welcome back, students. We are into the seventh video lecture of the video lecture series made on the subject of renewable energy technology, whose subject code is ME409. And the topic which we are going to discuss today is solar geometry. So today, in continuation with the previous two video lectures, we will discuss the solar geometry. In this, we are going to discuss all the solar angles which are important for us to understand. I am Shri Krishna Mishra, Assistant Professor in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Suresh Gyan Vihar University, Jaipur. So without wasting our time, let's start. But before starting the lecture, let's see what are the objectives of today's lecture. So these are the objectives of today's lecture. We are going to know about the basic knowledge of solar geometry. We are going to gain the basic knowledge of solar geometry, that what is solar geometry, alright, and why is it important. We will discuss about it. Then we are going to know about the various angles which constitute the solar geometry. Basically, solar geometry comprises of a number of angles, which whole soul is known as the solar geometry. So those angles, what are those angles and how those angles are defined, that we will know. Then after, we are going to understand about the angles like hour angle, inclination angle, azimuth angles. Like these angles, we are going to discuss the angles. Then after, we are also going to discuss about the tilt angles. So these are the objectives which we are going to cover in this today's video lecture. So let's start the session now. About the solar radiations. All right, we are going to discuss the topic of solar geometry in solar radiations. I hope the screen is visible to you all. So first of all, solar energy, as we all know, it is the basic source of energy on Earth, and it is available in the form of electromagnetic radiations. Sun is basically a large sphere of hot gases, heat being generated by various fusion reactions in it. This we all have understood previously in through the previous slides. Just a repetition, for revision, I have written these lines that basically what we consider sun is a large sphere of hot gases. All right, heat being generated by various fusion reactions in it, and we all know the diameter of sun is 1.27 into 10 to the power 4 kilometer. Such a big diameter is of sun. Sun subtends an angle of only 32 degrees at the Earth's surface. This is also an important general knowledge type of question, that the angle which is subtended, the solid angle that is subtended by the sun at the Earth is 32-degree angle. Why is it? Because of the large distance between sun and Earth. Now, solar energy, as we all know, the direct radiations, or we also say direct radiations as the beam radiation, which are received from the sun on the earth, is almost parallel. Because the distance is too large, therefore we consider the radiations which are coming on the earth's surface as parallel. The brightness of the sun, the brightness of the sun varies The brightness of the sun varies from its center to its edge. However, for engineering calculation, it is assumed to be uniform over the entire solar disk. The sun generates an enormous amount of heat or energy. We can say 1.1 into 10 to the power 20 kilowatt hour every second. So it is the amount of energy needed to power a 100-watt light bulb for 10 years. So you can understand 1 kilowatt is itself an amount. 1 kilowatt hour is itself an amount that is needed to power a 100-watt bulb for continuously for 10 hours. So the energy that is emitted by the sun is huge, 1.1 into 10 to the power 20 kilowatt hours every second, that too in every second. All right. Now the Earth's outer atmosphere intercept about 2 billion of the energy generated by sun. Due to reflection, scattering, and absorption by gases and aerosols, the particles which are available in the atmosphere, which are known as aerosols. Due to the reflection, scattering, and absorption, we only 47% of this available intensity on the atmosphere of the Earth reaches the surface of the Earth. Only 47% means whatever is the energy that is coming on the atmosphere, out of that only 47 is percent is reaching the Earth's surface. And then after now in the Earth's atmosphere, solar energies are received in the Earth's atmosphere. Solar energy are received by direct radiations or diffuse radiations. As we all know, the direct radiations are those which directly strike the surface of the Earth, and diffused are which are first of all diffused. All right, means they do not directly strike the Earth's surface. They are diffused by the aerosols, water, or air particles available in the atmosphere, and they enter the Earth. So the global radiations becomes equal to direct radiations plus diffused radiation. Now the amount of energy per unit area and day depends on number of factors. What are those factors? The factors are: first is solar radiation geometry, the amount of energy which is incident, which is you are getting on an area or any day, depends on a number of factors. The first factor is your among them the first factor is your what? Is your solar radiation geometry. Now in this solar radiation geometry, the angles which are included are your solar angles, location or geographical factors, and season time of the year. All right. So these are the different angles which are considered. These are the different angles which are considered in solar geometry. Now coming into single, let's study the other factors which play an important role on the intensity available on Earth is the local climate. The other factor that is responsible for intensity on the surface of the Earth is the local climate of that area. All right, local climate of that area, and the other one more factor is the inclination of the collecting surface in the direction of sun. You would have seen that whenever we used to make any solar cooker or something like that, we always place it in a tilted position so that the sun's rays are directly incident on it. So basically, the tilt which we are making, it is also an angle. Then after now coming into solar geometry, first of all, let's list out what are the important angles which are considered. So important angles which are considered is first is latitude of location. Every location, we all know there are latitudes and longitudes which describe the position of any location. So based on that, we have first important thing is latitude of that location is important. Based on that, we have latitude angle. All right. Then after we have declination angle. Declination angle is also an important angle. Then comes your hour angle, written by omega. And the fourth one is your altitude angle. And fifth one is the zenith angle. Sixth is solar azimuth angle. And seventh is the slope angle. So these are the seven important angles which are considered under solar geometry, solar radiation geometry. First is latitude of location. First is what? First is latitude of location. So let's see one by one. First, let's see what is latitude angle. Latitude angle basically depends on the location, and it is the angle made by a radial line joining the location to the center of the earth. Let me zoom this diagram because this diagram will make you understand what is the latitude angle. So as you can see, this is the latitude angle. Let me zoom it so that you can easily see. Okay, all right. So latitude angle, as you can see, basically, if P is any location, as you can see here in the diagram, if mm, so if in this diagram, as you can see in this diagram, if this P is any location, so based on this location, if you want to find the latitude of this location, this means that latitude angle means it is the angle made by this equatorial plane. This is the equatorial plane line. All right, line drawn in the equatorial plane. The angle made by this equatorial line to this line joining this position of the point with the center of the earth. All right, so it is basically what it is the angle made by a radial line joining the location to the center of the earth and the projection of the line on the equatorial plane. So basically this basically line is your projection. It is the projection of this particular line. So this line has got the projection this in the equatorial plane, and the angle between them is what? The angle between them is your latitude angle. The angle between them is your latitude angle. All right, and it is denoted by capital. It is denoted by phi 1. Moving into the next one. Next one is your uh, first of all is latitude angle. There are some more discussion. Angle, for example, if it is, as I have told you, it is the angular distance on north or south of equator measured from center of the earth. So this can also be a definition that what is it? Latitude angle is the angular distance on north or south of equator measured from center of the earth. It varies by from 0 degree at equator to 90 degree at the poles. This is the latitude angle. It is 0 degree at equator, all right, and 90 degree at the poles. So you can understand what is this latitude angle. Then after, students, this is one more diagram explaining you the latitude and longitude. You can see in this diagram, you can see, students, latitude along with longitude indicates the position of any point on the earth. So those with the horizontal lines are known as your latitudes, all right, and those with the vertical lines are known as your longitudes. So you can see here a lot of longitude lines are drawn here, and these latitude lines are at 15, 30, 45, 60. In this way the lines are drawn, all right. And this basically the center line, the center horizontal line is known as equator, and center vertical line is known as prime meridian. So this is a brief explanation. Now the second important angle is the declination angle, students. This is also an important angle. So how you can calculate the declination angle? Again, one more thing. See, if this is the location in which you have to find the declination angle. So at this point, this is the line which you are using. This is the At this point, this is the line, students, which you are using, the line joining the location with the center of the earth. And you also have and you also have one line which is showing you the projection, which is showing you the projection. And now the angular distance of sun's rays north or south of equator, the angular distance of sun's rays north or south of equator is basically your declination angle. So in other words, we can say it is the angle between the line extending from the center of the sun to center of the earth and the projection of this line upon earth's equatorial plane, projection of this line on earth's equatorial plane. So now try to understand, these are the sun's rays, students. The sun's rays are coming at this situation. All right, now the angle made by sun's rays, with the equatorial plane, means this plane, the angle made by sun's rays with the equatorial plane, this will give you the declination angle. So therefore it is written that it is basically what, this declination is the angle between a line extending from center of the sun to the center of the earth and the projection of this line upon earth's equatorial plane, projection of this line on earth equatorial plane. All right, so the plane, equatorial plane, the angle between the equatorial plane and the sun's rays is basically your declination angle, all right. So this was your declination angle. Then after, one more thing, declination angle, as you can see, students, that it is not same always. The variation in declination angle is shown throughout the year, means you can see that it's changing throughout the year. In winter and summer you have different declination angles, all right, because the earth is rotating around the sun, and therefore the declination angle will, it is very obvious that for any location the declination angle will also change. Then coming into our angle, our angle is basically what, our angle will tell you that at which position sun is at present with respect to you, how the angle through which the earth must turn to bring the meridian of the point directly in line with the sun's rays is our angle. What is our angle? It is the angle with which the earth must tend to bring the meridian of a point directly in line with the sun's rays, directly in line with the sun's rays. As you can see, this is, for example, the location. This is the location. Now its projection will be shown by line, OS. All right, and the sun's rays are coming. The sun's rays, direction of sun's rays is like this. So as you can see, the angle made by projection of the sun's rays on the equatorial plane and the hour angle and the projection of the position, this will give you hour angle. So angle through which the earth must turn to bring the meridian of a point directly in the line with the sun's rays, this is your hour angle. It is the measure of the time of the day with respect to solar moon. So our angle basically, when the sun's rays are directly on the surface of the earth, that at that time we consider our angle as 0. All right, so when the sun's rays are directly on any location, then our angle at that point is 0, and our angle is 15. Our angle, you can take that it changes by 15 degree per hour. It changes by 15 degree per hour. Altitude angle is also one of an important angle. Now what is altitude angle? So as you can see, altitude angle, it is the vertical angle between projection of sun's rays on the horizontal plane on Earth's surface and direction of sun's rays. What is altitude angle? It is the vertical angle between projection of sun's rays on the horizontal plane on Earth's surface and direction of the sun. All right. I hope this all altitude angle is also now understood to you. So these were all the angles, students, which are considered in solar geometry. All right. So one more angle you can understand. This is the zenith angle. Zenith angle is basically the complementary angle of solar altitude angle, that is vertical angle between sun's rays and a line perpendicular to horizontal plane through the point. That is the angle between the beam from the sun and the vertical. Now coming into solar azimuth angle. Solar angle in degrees along the horizon east or west of the north is your solar azimuth angle. It is a horizontal angle measured from north to horizontal projection of sun's rays, and it is considered positive west side. All right. So you can see in the diagram also it is visible. Solar azimuth angle. Solar azimuth angle. All right. Now one more angle, then it will be having a positive latitude angle, and those which is having those regions which are below the below the equatorial plane will be having the negative negative value of what? Negative value of latitude angle. Then after coming into the declination angle, now declination angle is what? As you all know that the earth is tilted by an angle 23.5 degree. Now the declination angle can be calculated in this way. This is the formula for calculation of declination angle. First of all, what is declination angle? This is the radiation which are coming from the sun. And the angle made by the equatorial plane with the radiation coming from the sun. This will give you the value of declination angle. This will give you the value of declination angle. Alright, so declination angle given by delta is equal to 23.45 into sine 360 upon 365 into 284 plus n degrees. All right. So as you all know that Earth is tilted by 23.5 degrees. So you can remember this particular formula in this way: 23.45 into sine 360 upon 365 into 284 plus n. Then after, as you can see that the value of declination angle is dependent on the particular particular month, particular day of that year. If that day lies in December, then declination angle will be different. If that day lies September, it will have different value. And you can see the declination angle, the change in the declination angle follows a sinusoidal path. Now our angle tells you about the location, about the particular time. As the hour angle, if the sun is justly vertically overhead above you, then we say that the hour angle is 0. So it is basically angle through which the earth must turn to bring the meridian of the observer directly in line with sun's rays. This is the definition. So if sun is somewhere here, students, if sun is somewhere here, this means that it will have to turn somewhat this degree to come in line with you. You are standing here. This is your position. All right. So if sun has to come to directly overhead above you, then for that you will have to move by this much degree angle. Now this much degree angle is what? It is 45-degree angle. This means that at 9 a.m. in the morning, the our angle is 45 degree, and but it will be taken as negative. The values which are on the right hand side of the position, it will be taken as the minus value, minus 45, and the value, this particular value will be taken as 90 degree, means the angle at morning 6 a.m. Our angle at morning 6 a.m. will be taken as minus 90 degree, while the angle at evening 6 p.m. will be taken as plus 90 degree, our angle. All right. And if the time is 3 p.m. in the afternoon, then the angle will be, it is very obvious, it will be 45 degree. So always keep it in mind, those values which you are getting on the left hand side of this position, of your position, that will be taken as positive, and on the right hand side, that is on the morning angles, will be your morning before 12 noon. The angles will be taken as your minus values, minus angle values. So this was your hour angle. Now, if you want to calculate the hour angle, then the formula will be solar time minus 12. Solar time means, for example, the time is 4 p.m. in the evening. This means that 16 will be the solar time. Solar time minus 12. All right. This will give you the value. For example, I am calculating the value of hour angle at 4 p.m. So at 4 p.m. means it will give you the value 4, 16 minus 12, that is 4 in hours. Then after into 15 degrees. So 15 for the 60. 60 degree will be the angle. 60 will be the angle at 4 p.m. in the evening. This is the hour angle at 4 p.m. And since it is on the left hand side of this particular 12 p.m., therefore it will be taken with a positive symbol. So this is the way by which we calculate the hour angle. After, students, the other angles are, let me quickly tell what are the other angles. The other angles are the inclination angle, which is denoted by alpha. Inclination angle means, student, it is the angle made by sun's rays and its projection on horizontal surface, and it is denoted by inclination angle. All right, it is the angle between the sun's rays and its projection on a horizontal surface. So if this is the projection, this is the projection of sun's rays, this is the sun, and the rays which are coming from sun are like this, and the projection of these rays are shown by this PQ. Then this angle, it is denoted by alpha. This angle is denoted by alpha. All right. And the alpha is what? It is your inclination angle, and one more angle can be shown directly from this diagram, and that is the zenith angle. Zenith angle means the same angle made by this sun's rays with the vertical. Sun's rays with the vertical is your zenith angle theta z. It is denoted by theta z. It is denoted by theta z, zenith angle. All right, it is the angle between the sun's rays and the perpendicular to the horizontal plane. And the third one is solar azimuth angle denoted by gamma s. Solar azimuth angle denoted by gamma s. Now gamma s is what? Gamma s is the projection angle made from the angle made by the projection of the sun's rays with the south direction. With the south direction means if this is the projection PQ, let me show by the red color. If PQ is the projection of sun's rays which are coming from the sun's rays, then the angle made by PQ with the south direction, angle made by PQ with the south direction, this will give you the solar azimuth angle denoted by gamma S. All right. So all three angles I have shown in the same diagram. Inclination angle alpha. All right. It is the angle made by the sun's rays with its projection on the horizontal surface. On a horizontal surface. Then after comes the zenith angle. Zenith angle is the angle made by the sun's rays with the perpendicular to the horizontal plane. Theta z. It is denoted by theta z. And the third is solar azimuth angle. Solar azimuth angle is denoted by gamma s, and it is the angle made by the it is the angle made by the projection of sun's rays on the horizontal plane with the south direction. So I hope these three angles are now understood to you. Now coming into these two other angles, which is the slope angle and the solar azimuth angle. What is this slope angle? Let's see. See, this diagram will definitely make you understand what is slope angle. Whenever you keep any particular system, then you keep at any angle, you tilt that angle. So that angle by which you tilt any device is known as your tilt angle and is divided by beta. All right, it is so. First of all, yeah, let me tell you what is the angle of incidence. No, let me tell you first of all what is this slope angle. Slope angle, let me define it first of all. Angle between the inclined plane surface under consideration and the horizontal. This is given by beta. Beta is your slope angle. So basically, in this diagram, I will show you in the diagram, coming diagram in the next slide. And second is the surface azimuth angle denoted by gamma. Gamma is what? Is the angle in the horizontal plane between the line due south and the horizontal projection of normal to the inclined plane surface. All right, it is taken as positive and measured from south towards west. So let me show you beta and gamma values. Here you can see beta is what? Beta is the angle by which the uh, surface under consideration, inclined surface, is tilted by the from the horizontal plane. And gamma is what? Gamma is the direction. It is the angle between the direction of that tilted surface and the north-south direction. This is gamma. And the third one is the angle of incidence. So angle of incidence, what is this angle of incidence? Let's see. It is the angle between the sun's rays incident on the plane surface, that is the collector, and the normal to the surface. All right. So this way, you can see that it is the angle between sun's rays incident on the plane surface. Means if the plane surface, inclined plane surface is this one, and if sun's rays are coming from this direction, let me draw with a circular diagram. If this is the sun, and this is the position of the inclined plane, this is the sun. Once again, I am telling you, this is the sun student, and this is the plane under consideration. So the angle made by this radiations from sun's rays to the normal to this inclined surface is known as angle of incidence. It is known as angle of incidence denoted by theta I. All right, and the tilt of this plane is denoted by beta. All right, so this is your angle of incidence, and the formulas which can be used for calculation of angle of incidence are cos theta I is equal to, this is a big formula, and it has all the different values by which you can calculate the angle of incidence. Cos theta I is equal to cos phi cos beta plus sin phi sin beta cos gamma, in bracket close, cos gamma cos omega plus cos delta cos sin omega sin beta sin gamma plus sin delta into, in bracket, sin phi cos beta minus cos phi sin beta cos gamma. So these are the different angles by which you can calculate the angle of incidence. So these were the different angles which were important to consider, and they provide you the value of radiation that is acting on any surface. So I hope you have understood the diagrams which are important, and you will have to draw while giving the answer of this question, what is solar geometry. This is the diagram which you will use. the diagram which is explaining you the value of declination angle. Then after this is the latitude angle. Alright. Then after the third one is your hour angle. This is the hour angle. Fourth one is the inclination angle alpha, zenith angle theta z, and solar azimuth angle gamma s. They can be shown by this diagram. Slope angle, that is beta, tilt angle, and solar azimuth angle. They can be shown by this particular diagram. So these three diagrams are important here. And finally, this is the angle of incidence which is showing here. This is the angle of incidence. And calculation of angle of incidence will be done by this formula. So this formula is important in numericals, which we will discuss in the next coming lecture. This particular formula we will use, and apart from this formula, we will also use the hour angle calculation formula wherever hour angle will be required to calculate. And also we will use this formula for calculation of declination angle. Let's discuss, students, some multiple choice questions based on the understanding which we have gained in today's lecture. So let's start with our multiple choice question number 1. Question number 1 is, what is the angle subtended by sun on earth in terms of degrees? So as we have already discussed this topic, that the angle subtended by sun on the earth in degrees is 0.5 degrees. So among the options, let's read out. First is your 0.5 degrees. So this itself becomes the answer. But let's see what are the other options. Second, B option is about 1 degree. So no, this is not correct. C is your about 35 degree. This is also not true. And the option D is 5 degrees. So this is also not true. So the answer that is correct and which matches with the correct answer is your A. A means 0.5 degree. The explanation is what? Explanation is sun subtends an angle of 32 minutes at the earth's surface, which when converted to degrees comes out to be 0.53 degree. So exactly if we want the degrees in terms of up to decimal places, 2 decimal places, so it will be 0.53 degree. Alright, so this was our question number first. Now coming into the second multiple choice question, let's read out what is the question. Why is angle subtended by sun on the earth's surface is so small? We all know that the angle subtended by sun on the earth is so small. Now what is the reason behind it? The question is asking, and the options available are: A is because sun is smaller than earth. Second, B option is because of the large distance between the sun and the earth. So this is the appropriate one, I think so, but let's read out this option C. Because of the small distance between the earth and the sun, no, there is large distance. And the D is because sun is about the same size as that of earth. So no, this is also not true. Sun is not of the same size of the earth. The distance between sun and earth is also not small, but the distance between the sun and earth is large, and therefore the option B is the correct one. And the explanation is what? Explanation is the angle subtended by sun on the earth's surface is about 0.53 degree. It is so small because of the large distance between the earth and the sun. Because of the large distance between the earth and the sun, this angle subtended by the earth on the sun is small. It is 0.53 degree. Now coming into the third multiple choice question. The question is, when revolving around the sun, the earth moves in an elliptical cycle. Then there is a dash. We have to fill in the blanks. Options are on the sun's plane, A option. B is above the sun's plane. Option C is above and below the sun's plane, and option D is below the sun's plane. So if you have not understood, the question is saying that while revolving around the sun, the earth moves in an elliptical cycle on the sun's plane, above the sun's plane, above and below the sun's plane, and D is below the sun's plane. So we all know when it revolves, when the earth moves around the sun, it makes an elliptical cycle above and below the sun's plane, above also and below also of the sun's plane. So means this option C is the correct option. Option C is the correct option, and the explanation is what? When revolving around the sun, the earth moves in an elliptical path. The earth passes above and below the sun's plane to complete an elliptical cycle. So this question is, I think, clear to you now. Now coming into the fourth multiple choice question. Which month in the earth, on which month is the earth closest to the sun? This is our fourth multiple choice question. Which month of the earth is closest to the sun? A's option is February, B is March, C is December, and D is Jan. So it is very much clear that if we are asking when the earth is very much close to the sun, so the option D is the correct option. And why it is correct? Because earth is closest to the sun on 2 days. Specifically, it is closest on January 3rd, and on this day the distance between earth and sun is approximately 147.3 million kilometers. Alright, so I hope this is clear. Now coming into fifth multiple choice question. What is aphelion? What is aphelion? Now aphelion is what? Option A is the point where earth is farthest from the sun. Yes, the point where the earth is farthest from the sun, that particular point is known as aphelion. Means this particular point, these points are known as the aphelions. These points are what? These are farthest from the sun. So A option itself is the correct. Let's read out what are the other options. The point where earth is nearest. C, the point where earth is on the perpendicular bisector. D, the point where earth subtends an angle of 30 degrees with the sun's plane. All the others are wrong. Option A itself is the correct option. And explanation is aphelion is the point where earth is farthest from the sun. The point where earth is near to the sun is known as perihelion. So this added information we should also know, that the point where earth is nearest to the sun is known as perihelion. Now coming into the question number 6. Which month is the earth farthest from the sun? So closest from the sun we have seen. Now earth farthest from the sun, this, if we want to know, the options are A June, B July, C August, and D is Jan. So we all know that the earth is farthest from the sun in the month of July. Alright, and the explanation is specifically earth is farthest on 4th of July. The distance between earth and the sun is on this day is 152.1 million kilometer. Coming into the next multiple choice question, that is our question number 7, and the question says that what is solstice? A, the point where earth is farthest from the sun. B, the point where earth is nearer from the sun. C, when sun's zenith is at its furthest point from celestial equator. And D, when sun's zenith is at the closest point from the celestial equator. So we all know that solstice is basically representing the position when sun's zenith is at its furthest point from celestial equator. So C is the correct option. And the explanation is solstice occurs when sun's zenith is at its furthest point from the celestial equator. It could either be the northerly zenith or the southerly zenith. So this was solstice point where sun's zenith is at farthest point from celestial equator. Coming into the question number 8. 8 is what? 8 question is what is sun's declination angle? Now this I have taught to you. Let's read out the options. A is angle between sun and earth. D is angle between a ray of sun touching earth's surface. C, angle between an observer on earth and celestial equatorial. And D, angle between ray of the sun when extended to Earth's center and the equatorial plane. Now this D option is the correct option, that sun's declination angle is the angle between ray of the sun when extended to the Earth center and the equatorial plane. So D is the correct option. Coming into the next multiple choice question, question number 9. Question is, what is sun's declination angle during summer solstice? So options A itself is giving us the correct value, 23.5 degrees sun's declination angle during summer solstice. Alright, and thus the sun shines down on the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere. Coming into the 10th multiple choice question, what is sun's declination angle during winter solstice? Now if we talk about winter solstice, we will take 23.5 with a minus degree. Alright, so this is B is the correct answer of this question number 10. So in this way we have discussed all the multiple choice question, students. Now for your self-reading, for your self-understanding, for your self-study, you can use the references books which are given in the screen. These all are very good books. You can use any of the book written. For today, that's all, students. Thank you and have a nice day.